Ice creams are melting faster than your Wi-Fi loads a reel. Fans are working overtime, and stepping outside feels like stepping into an oven set on revenge mode. This year, our country saw record-breaking temperatures, which exposed us to the grim reality of today. One that's invisible to most of us and often to climate action itself. That when the temperature rises, it doesn't rise equally for everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Rooting for the Grassroots. I'm Muskan, and today we look at how India's neglected communities suffer from heat waves and what our champions under the National Youth Climate Consortium are doing about it. In the cool, misty hills of Nagaland's indigenous regions, the heat has begun to rewrite the landscape, quite literally. Between 2000 and 2020, Dimapur's urban landscape grew 2.5 times, while green spaces shrank from 33% to only 19%. Local headlines speak of children fainting in classrooms, to the street vendors collapsing under tin roofs, and farmers watching their harvests fry mid-season. For indigenous communities, the heat has become a new and relentless intruder, changing the way life itself is. Let's now hear from frontline champions who are tackling this at the grassroots.
Allowing more, moi NYCC champion Nagaland Brase. I am a policy analyst and an urban practitioner. So coming from a state like Nagaland, where we are very close with nature, and also still there's a lot of indigenous practices also in terms of conservation. A city like Dimapur, which I'm from, is also really experiencing what, at the crossroads of what kind of development do we prioritize, the kind of, do we have a holistic development or just linear development that we call. During my master's project, I worked on solid waste management project. That was my first entry point of working in the crossroads of municipal solid waste management delivery, but also at the same time really having an understanding of the impacts of things like waste management, how different systems work together and how each systems are so interrelated, and how we need really systems change for anything. When one imagines heat, one usually thinks only that it's an experience of bigger cities or metro cities, but I believe like small cities like Dimapur, they would definitely say about the scorching experience of heat and humidity there. It's also part and parcel of the intensity of heat that we are experiencing. It's part of climate change. It's what we are experiencing. The idea, as an urban practitioner myself and a couple of friends, we are really thinking also through this fellowship that we would lead an action-based research that informs why is it getting so hot, and also things like land surface temperature, loss of tree cover over the decade, as well as really also try to look at key vulnerable stakeholders like our indigenous women street vendors there. Literally their practice of bringing foraging products into the local market, but also their ability to sell or their ability to maintain their livelihood is also at a very big risk, as well as our school children. As many of our school children, especially in Dimapur, even in the local dailies, has been written by concerned parents regarding their ability to go to school because of the heat stress that's been facing. And I think it also then comes back to how much energy intensive it is in terms of even electricity consumption also, things like that. Back home we have this, at least in the villages, we have a very strong sense of youth participation, and civil society organizations are really central in shaping any kind of discourses and engagement, and also bringing the community together. I really want to tap into those networks back home also, particularly in Dimapur, where I can really collaborate with the local community there and also with the local NGOs themselves who are leading the change, because change really is collective and we really need to work towards that collectively. That the idea of giving back to your community is so central to our Naga practice, and I really want to also use that in the idea on how we think about resource management, or how we think about the collectivism and being there for one another and community action also.
As we speak, our climate champion Boka has reached out to thousands of young people in Dimapur, Nagaland, raising awareness about the rising threat of heatwaves. He'll soon release a white paper sharing his findings to guide future action and create more advocacy in his state.
Being part of NYCC honestly is so reinvigorating, it's energizing. We are also really learning from each other in terms of different thematic areas each NYCC champion is working on in their local areas. This has been, I believe, one of very transformative experience for me.
To follow along on such stories of resilience and climate action happening across India, be sure to like, share and subscribe to our channel and find more resources linked below. We are rooting for the grassroots. Are you?